today we're meeting Anjelica Latorre. She's currently studying at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. She's studying art education, but she really would like to move into the art therapy field, and she works in a lot of traditional mediums like photography and collage, but she's moving into more conceptual pieces that bring up societal norms and challenge societal norms and things like that. So
she recently put on a trans clothing drive where she invited trans and gender non-conforming people to create outfits and to express their aesthetic identities. And later, after the drive, people were invited to take the outfits home with them.
that's awesome.
Which she created a healing space, is that right? Healing?
Yeah, it was like
healing space
communal
for
as
trans.
well.
Yeah. Which was really wonderful. She believes that art is more about process and less about product, which, she believes art is more about process and less about product, and that vulnerability in art and life is key to her growth and change and freedom.
Yeah, she pretty much is also playing off the concept that, you're not really being honest with yourself unless you're learning through new experiences by opening yourself up to those experiences and things like that. So in her next piece that we're going to talk about, she's going to show us how to use vulnerability to improve yourself as a person and just to improve society as a whole in general.
Hey guys, thank you for the introduction. I'm Anjelica Latorre. I'm an art student at the University of North Carolina in Greensboro, and I moved here about 5 years ago from Southwest Florida. Like most artists, my affinity for art started when I was a child. I've loved drawing and spent most of my free time doing so at my parents' encouragement. When I got older, I started to experience frequent and grand mood swings. I became anxious to the point of physical illness sometimes, and would often be crying or laughing hysterically at very inopportune times. I tried my best to keep these fits contained and private, and while drawing provided some relief initially, eventually experiencing and trying to contain this turmoil took up all of my energy, and I stopped drawing altogether. So obviously the decision to quit art did not stick, because thankfully over time I became healthier and really learned how to use my hyper-emotional state to fuel me rather than hold me back. All of this led me to question why emotions are so frowned upon in society in the first place. Most people experience being overwhelmed at some point, but crying in public is thought of as a shameful and weak act, when really I believe it's a showcase of strength through vulnerability. So your assignment is simply to cry in public. No spectacle needs to be made of this. You don't need to have any witnesses, and really you can cry anywhere you feel comfortable as long as it's a public space. It can be an elevator, your car, an unoccupied park bench, even an empty classroom. The only stipulation I have is that you must allow yourself to be present and truly experience crying instead of trying to hold your emotions back.
I wish someone had given this assignment to me recently, because there have been so many times where crying in public would have been very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great idea, and it plays off of a lot of societal constructions. Like, I mean, even just as a male, there's so much pressure on males to not ever cry, and really I think it's something that everyone needs. So a project like this, reaching into that vulnerability, really, speaks measures.
So for context, I really believe that emotional health depends on openness and conquering this sort of global fear of vulnerability. You'll be better equipped to move past the problems that overwhelmed you in the first place. So the project calls back to Bastian Otter's I'm Too Sad to Tell You, a video in which the artist is seen crying for a length of time for unknown reasons to the audience. It also calls to the uprising of recent tear-seeking events in Japan. These events are created to help relieve stress and really help embrace emotions together as a community. It might be scary. I really hope you guys enjoy this assignment and learn to embrace emotions more as a tool than as a hindrance. Thank you so much for participating.